And guess whose words they were? Her own father, Thomas Markle, who has provided a scathing analysis, including revealing the multitude of... is completely right, isn't he, Brittany? However, it is still quite brutal. This is his daughter that he is critiquing.
I don't know why, but I think she had something to do with him moving on.
Can you believe it? The palace sold the world this picture-perfect fantasy of Meghan Markle, the glowing 36-year-old bride stepping into royalty as if she was born for it. But then came the shocker. Her very own father, Thomas Markle, ripped the wrapping off that fairy tale. And let me tell you, the numbers he's throwing around, they don't just sound messy, they flip the whole story upside down.
Whatsoever, we'd have nothing but respect and admiration for them. And the same feeling goes for all the British people. And actually, I want to thank the British people because they've been reaching out to me now and extending their feelings for me, and I really appreciate that.
Thomas, the big question, of course, is whether Harry and Meghan will be in London too. We don't know.
Most dads, no matter how strained the relationship is, still try to speak of their daughters with warmth. That's what we expect, right? A father protects, not exposes. But Thomas Markle? Oh no, he doesn't play by those rules. Every time he opens his mouth about Meghan, it's less like a dad reminiscing and more like he's testifying in court against her. And this latest bombshell, it's not just another dig, it's explosive. He's hinting Meghan's real age isn't the one we've all been fed.
Meghan has never been authentic. She has to think about everything. She's not spontaneous. Everything she says is pre-planned.
Thomas has always been unpredictable. His words about Meghan feel like daggers, and now this claim has taken the gossip world by storm. The whispers have turned into shouts. Could Meghan's age really be different from what's written in the official palace biography?
Hair, and if so, would you like to meet with them in London too during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations?
Interesting question.
And wait, every scandal needs its smoking gun, doesn't it? Meghan's isn't coming from some bitter half-sibling or a jealous tabloid. No, the bomb is hiding in something way more permanent, way less emotional. An actual magazine archive.
You know when she's faking it for the cameras? She's trying so hard to be perfect that she tenses up.
Get this. Buried deep inside a March 1997 issue of 17 magazine, right there on page 90, Meghan Markle's name shows up beside a jaw-dropping claim. It lists her as 21 years old. Yes, 21. At first, it looks like a harmless detail floating in teen pop culture fluff. But when you stack it against Meghan's official timeline, alarm bells start screaming.
The feeling that if they know I'm coming, they won't be coming. But if they do come, I would love to.
Think about it. If Meghan was truly born in 1981, like her records insist, then in 1997 she should have been 15, not 21, not even close. That's not a typo you shrug off. It's a 6-year age gap. A whole leap that doesn't just raise eyebrows, it rewrites the entire script of her life story.
Particularly annoyed about is the fact that Meghan has tried to paint her childhood as some sort of latchkey kid, and he does.
And here's why this is such a big deal. Family gossip, you can dismiss that. Anonymous sources, easy to wave away, but magazine archives, those are forever. They sit in dusty library stacks, get digitized, scanned, and fact-checked. They don't change when the wind shifts. That one little page becomes history, etched in black and white, and it's a lot harder to brush off.
Speak with them and try to figure out what went wrong and how we can repair it.
Now sure, critics will argue magazines make mistakes all the time, editors misprint, ages get bungled, details slip. Fine. But when that so-called error happens to be about someone who would later marry into the world's most scrutinized monarchy, suddenly it feels like way more than a harmless oversight.
So she is totally trying to reframe everything in order to fit a specific agenda. And I'm always curious, how many versions of her childhood did she tell Prince Harry at this point? Because I've always been under
that one single line in 17 has become the holy grail for Meghan's critics. And they love it, because this isn't Thomas Markle venting or Samantha Markle spitting venom. This is an institutional record. No family bias, no emotions, just ink on paper that doesn't lie.
Thomas, I want to play you what Prince Harry had to say about the Queen's Jubilee, because he seems to make out.
For Meghan, that old clipping could be the deadliest piece of evidence yet. One casual line of text that flips her carefully polished bio into a mystery with missing puzzle pieces. Now, to the average bystander, this might seem silly. Who really cares if Meghan is a few years older or younger? In Hollywood, age fudging is practically a rite of passage. Stars shave off years to snag roles or stay fresh. But Meghan isn't just another Hollywood hopeful. She's the Duchess of Sussex. And in the monarchy, every detail is sacred. Royal life is built on precision. Births, deaths, weddings, all locked into record books with zero room for error. These aren't just family milestones, they're matters of state. A wedding isn't just a celebration, it's a constitutional event. A baby isn't just a baby, it's a possible heir. Accuracy isn't optional, it's the law of the land. So when Meghan's age comes under fire, this isn't about vanity, it's about trust. The palace put forward a carefully vetted biography. If something as simple as a birth year can be questioned by a published source, then what else might have slipped through, or worse, been ignored on purpose? And let's be real, the monarchy isn't exactly on solid ground right now. Prince Andrew's scandals, Meghan and Harry's constant public attacks, King Charles's health, every headline is a fresh blow. Credibility is like currency for the royals, and they're broke enough already. That's why Meghan's supposed age gap doesn't just dent her personal image, it eats away at the palace itself. If people start believing the monarchy is sloppy, or worse, complicit in covering things up, then every critic shouting outdated, dishonest, irrelevant gets more ammunition. And Meghan? She tries to move on, smiling at charity events, attending glossy galas, pretending none of this storm is brewing. But underneath, the stakes couldn't be higher. Her entire life story, the tale of resilience, the image of the young Hollywood actress who fought her way up before marrying a prince, rests on the foundation of her timeline. And if that foundation cracks, the whole castle starts to shake. This isn't about some actress lying about her age to get a casting call. No, this is about the crown. And when the crown's credibility is questioned, the fallout spreads far beyond Meghan herself. It's the monarchy's image on the line. Thomas Markle may have struck the first match, but Samantha Markle, the half-sister who has made a career out of contradicting Meghan, well, she came with the gasoline. And this time, she's not just bickering, she's building a case. Samantha has always been Meghan's loudest critic, but this time it's different. Instead of throwing barbs, she's stacking evidence. She says Meghan's timeline doesn't add up. School years, jobs, even old boyfriends don't fit the official age we've all been told. And she's not just whispering this into the ears of tabloids, she's writing it into court filings, stating it in interviews, repeating it in documentaries. This isn't gossip anymore, it's permanent record. Samantha isn't talking like a jealous sibling. She's talking like a witness in a trial, armed with dates, receipts, and a memory sharp enough to sting. And her message is brutal. Meghan's carefully crafted story of who she is and when doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Of course, Meghan dismisses Samantha's tirades, painting her as bitter and irrelevant. But here's the kicker. This time, Samantha isn't backing down. She's linking the alleged age discrepancy directly to Meghan's credibility. She's not just taking a jab at her sister's image. She's going for the jugular. Meghan's royal reputation. Whispers spread. Maybe Meghan wasn't actually 20-something during those years. Maybe she was closer in age to those classmates than anyone realized. And suddenly, that college timeline looks suspiciously out of sync with the biographies she and the palace have so carefully crafted. Critics even claim that if Meghan was really born in the mid-70s, her Northwestern graduation wasn't the beginning of adulthood. It was a rewriting of her life story. Instead of a 22-year-old brimming with possibility, it was a woman in her late 20s presenting herself as younger to fit the narrative. And in Hollywood, shaving 6 years off your age isn't just vanity, it's survival. Being 21 gets you in the door. Being 27 or 28, suddenly those same doors slam shut. Casting directors want the ingenue, not the woman whose biological clock is ticking louder. That's the cruel reality. For Meghan, those 6 years could have been the difference between starring on shows like Suits and never being called back. Every audition was a gamble, and the younger you looked on paper, the better your odds. Maybe that's why her career gained traction. It wasn't just her talent, it was the illusion of youth. But here's the problem. In Hollywood, fudging your age is almost expected. People shrug it off as a strategy. But when that same strategy follows you into Windsor Castle, suddenly it's not cute anymore. What worked in casting rooms becomes a constitutional scandal in Buckingham Palace. And so the puzzle deepens. Did Meghan start her royal life already walking on a lie? For Hollywood, that's forgivable. For royalty, it's a dangerous crack in an institution already struggling to look credible. Flash forward to May 19, 2018. The world watched in awe as Meghan Markle floated down the aisle at St. George's Chapel, stepping into the history books as the Duchess of Sussex. The narrative was flawless. Meghan, age 36, the glamorous bride who brought modern sparkle to an ancient institution. It was sold as the ultimate fairy tale. Media outlets leaned hard on that number. 36 was just right, mature but not too old, young enough to be relatable but not so young as to appear naive, and not middle-aged either, which would have shifted the optics. The palace spun her age like gold. But here's the stinger. What if she wasn't really 36? What if Meghan was already in her early 40s at that wedding? Suddenly, the picture-perfect image of a radiant, modern bride starts to dull. The fresh chapter the royals bragged about looks more like a rewrite than a renewal. In the monarchy, perception is everything. A glowing young bride symbolizes rebirth, continuity, stability, but an older bride, even one as stunning as Meghan, plays into a completely different narrative, one of reinvention, not fairy tale beginnings, and critics argue the palace knew this, which is why they polished the number. Royal PR teams orchestrate every detail. The flowers, the music, the photos splashed across the front pages. If Meghan really was older than presented, then the entire event wasn't just a wedding, it was a carefully marketed storyline, and that storyline would be a lie. Supporters brush it off, insisting the age debate is nonsense. Meghan's wedding was iconic, regardless of numbers, but skeptics keep poking. If the palace fudged something as basic as her birth year to sell a narrative, what else did they polish to fit the story? And let's not forget, royal records are supposed to be sacred. Birth certificates, marriage licenses, baptism records, these aren't just paperwork, they're artifacts inked into history, which is why Meghan and Harry's own baby, Archie, stirred fresh controversy in 2019. When Archie's birth certificate was first filed, it looked normal. Rachel Meghan Markle listed as mother. But weeks later, something bizarre happened. Her names were erased, leaving only the royal title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Officials claimed it was a matter of consistency, aligning Meghan's certificate with other royals. But critics rolled their eyes. To them, it looked like control, proof the palace will bend even legal documents if it suits the image. And suddenly, the age debate felt a lot less far-fetched. If a royal baby's birth certificate can be altered weeks after filing, who's to say birth years or other records couldn't have been tweaked in the past? One tiny change becomes a symbol of how malleable official records really are. The internet, of course, ran with it. Fans dissected screenshots, zoomed in on signatures, and debated why Meghan's name was scrubbed. To them, it wasn't consistency. It was a reminder that palace narratives are carefully curated stories, and if one part is suspicious, the whole thing starts to wobble. And that's exactly what Thomas Markle had been shouting all along. Meghan's biography, he said, doesn't add up. With the birth certificate change, suddenly his accusations didn't sound like a bitter father rambling. They sounded plausible. From there, the debate leapt online, and the digital world turned Meghan's supposed age discrepancy into a global scavenger hunt. Reddit sleuths, TikTok creators, Twitter meme makers, millions of amateur detectives started digging. Old photos, yearbooks, magazine clippings, all of it became evidence. One viral Reddit post laid it out bluntly. If Meghan was 15 in 1997, then why does 17 magazine say 21? Screenshots spread like wildfire, plastered across feeds before palace staff could even draft a response. TikTok naturally made it bigger. Dramatic edits of Meghan's old photos appeared with captions like "Lies in Lace" and "The Mystery Duchess." Younger audiences, who usually don't care about monarchy politics, suddenly latched onto Meghan's real age as their new favorite conspiracy. Hashtags like #Meghan's real age trended for days, and then came the humor. Twitter users were ruthless. One meme captioned Meghan's old photo with 21 going on 15. Disney Channel rejected the script. Another went viral comparing her with classmates. Guess who's the mature student? What started as gossip had mutated into pop culture sport. Every sarcastic post, every meme, every TikTok edit added gasoline to the fire. Meghan's age became one of the juiciest conspiracies royal fans and critics had seen in years.